Now at 11, a father accused of killing his 3 young boys. The latest from investigators. And alcohol sales now allowed at all UK sporting events. Hear from UK's athletic director Mitch Barnhart about the decision coming up.
I'm Chief Meteorologist T.J. Shuck. A nice finish to the week on this Friday, despite a little bit of haze around. We'll see some heading into Saturday, but really the weekend, including Father's Day, looking pretty good. I'll have your Storm Team forecast coming up.
You're watching ABC 36 on your side. News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Paxton Boyd. We begin with a developing story tonight out of eastern Kentucky. State police say a Breathitt County woman allegedly shot and killed 3 members of her own family today before turning the gun on herself. Now, state police say they found the bodies around 10:30 this morning at a home in Jackson. Investigators say 34-year-old Ashley Little allegedly shot 15-year-old Chloe Little, 58-year-old Luther Combs, and 78-year-old Missouri Gross in her home before reportedly taking her own life. The investigation into those shootings continues. In Ohio, near the Kentucky state line, a man is accused of shooting and killing his 3 young boys. As Sean Delancey reports, the shooting happened yesterday in Clermont County, not too far from Cincinnati.
4:15 p.m., the first 911 call reaches dispatchers. A woman screaming her babies had been shot.
The female that went to the firehouse is advising them that the male shot the entire family.
3 minutes later, a second caller reports a girl running down the street yelling her father was killing everyone.
There are multiple children in the yard.
Clermont County deputies arrived to find 3 young boys, ages 3, 4, and 7, shot. They say attempts to save them didn't work. Their mother was shot in the hand and taken to the hospital.
When it involves children, that's terrible.
Neighbors like Dan Thomas are left awestruck by the news such violence shattered their rural community's usual calm. 18-year-old Seth Trees lives a couple houses down. You see this massive police presence up here.
Yeah, it's weird. It's unheard of, you know, crazy.
Tell me what it's like around here.
It's quiet, you know, people mind their business.
Nothing like that ever happens out here. This is a quiet country and very nice area. So to hear this, it's terrible.
Deputies say when they arrived, they found Chad Dorman, the kid's father, sitting on the home steps with his boys laying in the yard. He was taken into custody and questioned by detectives.
If it gets to the point where you get that mad, I mean, walk away. Don't, in no way harm your spouse or your children. I mean, come on, just walk away. Don't hurt nobody.
Well, that was Sean Delancey reporting. Police say the suspect in the shooting says he planned the attack on his family for several months. 32-year-old Chad Dorman was in court today on murder charges. Court records show despite his confession, Dorman did not enter a plea. Prosecutors say all 3 of his children were shot execution style with a rifle. A judge has ordered Dorman to be held in the Clermont County Jail on a $20 million cash bond. All right, checking in now with our chief meteorologist, T.G. Shuck. All looking pretty good for Father's Day weekend out there, Teach.
Yeah, it is, Paxton, and we ended up with a nice Friday. Yeah, it was hazy as expected with some of that leftover smoke from the eastern Canada wildfires, but temperatures were comfortable and humidity levels low. Now, we've still got a little bit of haze out there, and as we head into early Saturday, still going to see a bit. Notice as we get a little deeper in the afternoon, especially some of that blue here working its way in, and that's indicating a lot of that beginning to kind of diminish, so that's good news. We had some cloudiness moving into northern Kentucky earlier, but for the most part, the skies have cleared out, and notice a little bit of haze, but not as bad as what we had this afternoon. Bluegrass Pace Care, Skyview HD Camera Network, Higgs and Fontaine Cam, we are at 64, so it's pretty comfortable out there. Temperatures are actually going to drop down into the mid to upper 50s, so it will be a nice start to tomorrow morning. It was cooler under the clouds and with that north to northwest wind, with that frontal boundary down to our south, which of course ushered in some of the haze. If you're up and early tomorrow out, it's going to feel pretty good, and it will feel good from start to finish. Most locations back into the low 80s for afternoon highs with a lot of sunshine. A little less in the way of haze, and then heading into Father's Day, the dry stretch of weather continues as we feel a little more summer-like, working back into the upper 80s. Our rain chances Probably cut down to a couple of days early next week now. I'll tell you why on your 7-day forecast coming up.
Well, a 3-year-old has died after an ATV crash in Pike County. State police say the child was riding with 25-year-old Jeremy Griffey on the Hillbilly ATV trail system in the Dorton community when the ATV overturned. State police say the 3-year-old was taken to the Pikeville Medical Center where he later died. Now in your worldview, the investigation continues after 2 American tourists were found dead in their luxury hotel room in Mexico. It happened earlier this week. The bodies were found at a hotel on the Baja Peninsula. In an ABC exclusive interview, paramedics who responded to the scene say they felt sick and had difficulty breathing while inside the room. ABC's Melissa Adan reports.
Questions remain as to what caused the death of an American couple visiting Baja California Sur, Mexico, whose bodies were found inside their luxury hotel room at the Rancho Pescadero Resort, where rates average nearly $1,000 a night. An autopsy conducted by Mexican authorities revealing that 28-year-old Abby Lutz and 41-year-old John Heathcote's cause of death was intoxication by a substance to be determined. Local police say they suspect a gas-like substance, and the Attorney General's office say there were no signs of violence. The local police add that the couple was dead for about 10 to 11 hours by the time they were found. In an ABC News exclusive, the paramedics who responded to the scene say they felt dizzy within minutes of walking into the room.
We went out of the room as soon as possible, and I was afraid for my partner. Because my first thought in mind, it was like, are we gonna die?
ABC News reaching out to Hyatt, the property owner, who released a statement saying, "We do not believe that the cause of death was related to any issues with the hotel's infrastructure or facilities, including carbon monoxide or a gas of any kind." Lutz's family says the day before she died, Abby told them she'd spent the previous night in the hospital, telling them she thought she had food poisoning.
She was feeling sick and went to the hospital, stayed one night on IV and felt so much better. And then she texted him Monday night to say good night, love you. And then we hadn't heard from her again.
Lutz's family is currently traveling to Mexico to retrieve her body. Meantime, the State Department says they are monitoring Mexican officials' investigation into the cause of death. Melissa Adan, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Meanwhile, back in Lexington, for the first time in Kentucky athletics history, alcohol sales will be allowed at all UK sporting events where concessions are sold. UK Athletic Director Mitch Barnhart making the announcement this afternoon that fans will be able to enjoy a cold one at Kroger Field and Rupp Arena starting this fall. Barnhart says more details will be announced at a later date. As we've reported, Kentucky has tested beer sales at baseball home games this past spring at Kentucky Proud Park.
We had a pilot initiative this year at our baseball and softball venues with the sale of beer and seltzer. That went well. We had no real issues. It was a very enjoyable spring in terms of baseball at KPP, and fans enjoyed the amenities that were provided.
We'll have more from the press conference and the announcement coming up later in sports. Well, still ahead, a Louisville hip-hop artist shows up for a Lexington youth group. And what crews are saying after a dog is rescued from a fall in Red River Gorge.
Well, nice Friday evening here in central and eastern Kentucky. Good way to kick off Father's Day weekend. Our weather looking pretty tranquil and pretty warm. Your 7-day forecast is on the way.